And on the same day that the president traveled to Indiana to hail the comeback of the American auto industry, there was yet more positive news concerning America's slow but steady economic recovery. It turns out the U.S. economy actually grew at a faster pace over the summer months than was previously estimated. The numbers still aren't great, but for those of you keeping score at home, that's 5 straight quarters of economic growth. Thank you, economic recovery package. But wait, there's more. Did you see this headline in the New York Times today? Corporate profits were the highest on record last quarter. Quote, American businesses earned profits at the highest figure recorded since the government began keeping track over 60 years ago. Now, that statistic is a touch misleading because it's not adjusted for inflation, but corporate profits are going gangbusters right now. Here's probably the most accurate way to measure it. This is corporate profits as a percentage of U.S. economic growth over the past 3 decades. There are a lot of numbers here, but here's what's important. This big dive right here is the Great Recession. Corporate profits plummeted to nearly their lowest point ever when the recession hit. But here's where we are now. Corporate profits are nearly at their highest point as a share of GDP ever. Things have recovered for corporate America much faster than anyone really anticipated, and much faster than they have recovered for average workers. For bankers and CEOs, the boom times are back. So, given all this data, given the fact it's the holidays, time to give thanks, you would think that the corporate titans of America, who have benefited so disproportionately from the president's policies, from policies the White House has undertaken under great political cost to themselves, you would think that these corporate titans would take a moment to give thanks. If you thought that, you would be dead wrong. On the same day that this headline appeared in the New York Times, corporate profits were the highest on record last quarter, here's the headline that appeared in Politico. Business, Obama outreach not enough. In an article that will make you want to throw your laptop across the room, business leaders are now complaining that President Obama, quote, needs to drop the name calling, try to see their point of view better, and step up with some specific proposals. After reaping record profits over the past 2 years, business leaders are now essentially demanding total, abject capitulation from the White House. Whining about President Obama's tone, whining they don't get to bring foreign profits back to the United States under really low tax rates, whining the ways of choosing corporate boards were changed by the Wall Street reform bill. Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to America's ingrate ruling class. The same business leaders whose bacon was quite literally saved by the policies of this White House are now busy relentlessly attacking this White House. They're busy secretly funneling millions upon millions of dollars into organizations in order to attack the president and his policies. Remember, in the run-up to the midterm elections, corporate America threw a full-fledged hissy fit. The Chamber of Commerce spent around $30 million attacking Democrats and the White House for too much government interference in the private sector. Millions of dollars that were, to some degree, earned off of an economic recovery largely produced by the government. Just so we're clear here, the government steps in and bails out the banks. The government steps in and passes an enormous recovery act, a recovery act the Chamber of Commerce endorsed at the time. The government steps in and saves the auto industry. All of these policies lead to recovery, economic growth, and record profits for corporations. And those corporations then take that money and sink it into ads attacking the president and his party for being anti-business. And because of all that whining and complaining, they get news coverage like this.
President Obama is offering an olive branch to the business community in an effort to smooth over some bad feelings.
You've got basically an anti-business environment right now.
Does he need to change his strategy, his approach with the business community?
Too little, too late. The president extending his hand to the business community as he starts wooing the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. But will he listen to anything they say? Or is it all just business as usual?
You can say all you want about this president and his policies. One thing you cannot accuse him of, at least with a straight face, is being anti-business. In 2009 alone, President Obama and Democrats passed 11 separate tax cuts aimed at American businesses. That giant recovery act included millions of dollars in investments in green technology and the like. The president lobbied Congress for months to pass legislation establishing a small business lending fund, something that was endlessly delayed by Republicans. Before the midterm elections, the president laid out another $100 billion of additional tax credits for businesses. And for all of that, after pocketing record profits, American business leaders now say it's not enough. President Obama must do more. Here's the thing. Big business should really be careful what they wish for. The recovery money that President Obama and Democrats passed last year is now running out. That much maligned recovery package has put money into the pockets of average Americans who might otherwise be unemployed. Money that those people can now spend on goods and services. But after spending months and months and millions of dollars attacking the president and congressional Democrats, big business now has a brand new Republican Congress that not only won't vote for any additional recovery dollars, but wants to pull back the rest of the recovery money that hasn't been spent yet. It might be fun to run to the pages of the Politico to attack the president and his, quote, anti-business policies. But big business might soon look back on this moment and realize they never had it so good.